of status. You said, my conveyance and certificated security want Docs, Google Docs, IGWT Notice of Adequate Trust Assurance Docs, Google Docs. So what are the legal basis to get this done? ChatGPT. Based on the documents you provided, it appears that you are attempting to use a trust structure to assert control over what you describe as a certificated security associated with your legal name, ens legis, while distancing yourself from obligations tied to that entity. This approach includes elements from trust law, commercial law, and common law principles. Key legal elements in your documents. 1. Conveyance into a trust. The document states that the estate, linked to the legal name, is being transferred into the direct descendants of Yahweh and the Elohim Living Trust as part of an irrevocable trust structure. By doing this, you seem to be attempting to position yourself as a holder in due course or beneficiary while removing personal liability for any obligations tied to the legal identity. 2. Registered owner concept. The documents claim that by transferring the certificated security, birth certificate, estate, SSN, or other legal identity markers, into a trust, the registered owner becomes the trust rather than the individual. This is based on commercial law principles and the concept of a holder in due course, typically used in negotiable instruments law. 3. Challenges to state and federal authority. The documents assert that the United States, Louisiana, and other entities have no standing over the trust property unless they provide proof of a contract. There is a demand for proof of claim, implying that government agencies cannot impose legal claims against the trust without proving contractual authority. 4. Legal citations and precedents used. The law merchant is referenced as a governing body of law. Trust law cases such as Berry v. McCourt and Elliott v. Freeman are cited to argue that an express trust is a private contract not subject to state legislative control. You said, my constitutional arguments are made regarding the First, Fourth, Fifth, and Sixth Amendments, asserting rights against government interference. Legal feasibility of this approach. While trusts are a valid legal tool for asset protection and estate planning, using a trust to separate oneself from legal identity in the way described is not legally recognized in U.S. law. Here's why. 1. Birth certificates and SSNs are not property. A birth certificate and social security number are government records used for identification purposes, not property or securities that can be transferred into a trust. Courts have consistently ruled that individuals cannot separate themselves from their legal identity to avoid legal obligations, e.g., taxes, contracts, criminal liability. 2. Trusts do not remove personal legal responsibilities. While a properly structured trust can own assets, it does not erase legal obligations associated with the person who created it. You will still be responsible for taxes, contracts, and legal actions under your legal name. 3. Government will not recognize this argument. Attempts to use private trusts to challenge government jurisdiction have been rejected in multiple cases. Courts routinely dismiss arguments claiming that a person can operate solely through a trust to avoid state or federal laws. Legitimate ways to achieve financial and legal autonomy. If your goal is privacy, asset protection, and legal separation from liabilities, consider these legitimate options. LLCs and corporations. Business entities provide a legal way to separate personal and business assets. Irrevocable trusts. While they do remove assets from personal ownership, they do not affect legal identity or obligations. Private banking and financial structuring. Some use offshore trusts, foundations, or multi-layered financial structures for legal tax planning and asset protection. Would you like guidance on setting up a legally recognized trust or entity that provides liability protection while remaining within established law? You said? You mean 3/3. What does it say in the 20 CF 422.202 on who may get a SSN? And what does it say the word? ChatGPT said, 20 CFR 422.202, who may obtain a social security number, and definition of you, who may obtain a social security number. 20 CFR 400